Yeah, it's round 2 and it's just pretty exciting that playing Port over there, and for me personally, 200th club game, which makes it even more exciting.
Did you ever think you'd get there, mate, after the start and what you went through at Essendon?
Nah, it took me 5 years to get to 33 games at Essendon, and it's been a real roller coaster even at the Swans, and fortunately enough, over the last 4 or 5 years, I've been able to play consistent footy.
What's been the change, and what is it about this club? Because you're not the only one that's been given a second chance and thrived.
Yeah, I think there's quite a list now of guys that have come from other teams and been able to have a consistent career here. I don't think it's one factor. I think it's guys come here and are given the opportunity to play a role for the team, and I don't think there's particularly one reason.
And you obviously, when you got here, you would have had mentors and experienced players. Now that you're getting on a bit,
yeah,
you've seen probably both sides of it.
Yeah, when I first came to the club, Craig Bolton was my mentor, and I was very fortunate to come to a new team and be working so closely with someone that I looked up to like that. So I work with a few younger guys, and that's just part of the culture at the club here, and that's something that's going to continue on in the future.
You've got Port over there, massive game, but it's a venue that the Swans seem to play well at.
Well, yeah. To be fair, we've played there twice, and we've had 2 wins. I think it's one of the most exciting venues to play at. The atmosphere that the Port fans create in that stadium is it is one of the best, and so I find it just incredibly exciting, that whole spectacle, that 50,000 fans. So I think it is probably the loudest stadium in Australia. So we found that last year. Communicating can be difficult at times, but it's a real privilege to play over there.
How do you handle a hostile environment like that?
I think there's 2 different ways you can go. You can either be a bit put off, or you can kind of feed off that energy. And we really embrace that, and the fact that we're playing in front of that crowd, I think it's something that we really look forward to, and the fact that we get to test ourselves against a good team on a big day is something we relish.
Got off to a bit of a slow start in round 1, obviously. Is it fair to say you can't afford that sort of a start this week?
Yeah. In particular, the first quarter against Essendon last week, we weren't happy with, and I sat down on Sunday and watched the game when Port played Fremantle, and that was 4 quarters of really intense footy, and really great game to watch, but equally we need to start right from the start this week.
What would you do differently, do you think, to avoid that slow start?
Well, I think Essendon just jumped us early on, and we couldn't get that momentum back until the second quarter, and then unfortunately we couldn't capitalise on the scoreboard. So, we want to start right from the start, and that's the basis of it.
It was a pretty amazing win. How much confidence does that give you guys heading into this week?
We get a bit out of it, and the fact that we can win from that situation. But equally, we've seen how Port play, and we know that we need to put it to another level, especially over on Adelaide Oval. We get some confidence out of it, but know that it's not going to count for much this weekend.
That spray from the coach looked pretty good at quarter time. You want to avoid one of those?
Yeah. From time to time they come out, but it was nothing that hasn't been heard before. Sometimes they happen more at half time when down in the sheds downstairs. But to be fair, it got us going, and even though we like I said before, we didn't capitalise on the scoreboard, I think we turned a lot of those key stats around in that second quarter.
What did you make of Port Adelaide's performance last weekend?
Yeah, the fact that they didn't win doesn't mean that you couldn't see how good they are. Their ability just to keep playing high pressure football was really outstanding. Equally with Fremantle too, and I was just really impressed of their ability to play almost finals like footy in round 1. was really exciting.
Do you think losing a tight one like that will make them even hungrier for this game?
Oh, I can't say. Yeah, possibly, but I don't think Port to me look like a team that are able to play that football each week, regardless of how they went the week before. So I can't really say how they'll go, but I'm expecting them to play just as hungry and just as hard.
Jackson Tringo down there said that they're probably going to play musical chairs on Buddy. Do you think that's the best way to combat it?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure there is one definitive great strategy to go with him, because I've battled away over the years on him. I think Port, to be fair, are in a fortunate position that they do have quite a few guys that are able to play on him, and not too many teams have more than one or two options. So if that's an option that they want to go with, it may work well for them. But either way, he's a tough job.
Dane Rampy's 50th game, mate. It's a great story.
Yeah.
Coming from AFL Sydney, how important has he become in that back six with you guys down there?
Yeah, so it really is a great story. Him coming from, park footy in Sydney pretty much, to not only get an opportunity but to capitalise on that opportunity once he got it, to play 50 games without hardly missing one. He's become an important cog down in defence, and he seems to be really, kind of getting better each year. I think it was in the last quarter when the game needed to be won, he even went on ball for a while, which, and not only did that, but contributed and was a big factor in why we won. So I think it's great for Dane. The ups and downs he's had over his last, 7 or 8 years, to be able to create the career that he has, it's really commendable.
And you must be happy that you have Buddy and Tippett on your side now. They'd be pretty hard forwards to play against, I imagine. But looking back on your career, who do you think has been the toughest key forward to match up on?
Yeah, it gets very lonely playing down on Buddy. Last quarter of a grand final, and the scores are in balance, and incredibly isolated. But I can remember playing on Jonathan Brown when Brisbane were up and going. Was it 10 or 12 years ago, and the ball just kept on coming down, and he was on fire. The nature of my role is that normally every team's got a gun forward, and quite often it's my job to try and stop them, and so it can be pretty tough at times. But Buddy's definitely one that comes straight to mind.
Jared's just over here going through some stretches, mate. He'd be a massive in, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would, and it'll be interesting to see how he trains today, because I think if all goes well today, he's all good for the game. And we missed him last week, but hopefully he's all good by the end of today.
Especially the leadership that he brings, when you're down and out, 41 points down against us, and then if you do the same, he'll sure to give you a revving up. Yeah,
so you've got his own, what he brings to the team, but also, like you said, his leadership. He's a captain for a reason. He leads the way, both how he attacks the ball and bringing other guys into the game. So we've also got Benny McGlynn, who I think's a chance, and I think Luke Parker's all good.